sitting on my doorstep, the people's passing by. They're coming back from getting wrecked. Everybody's high. Saturday night, what a bitch, laying on the lawn. The morning comes to bring the switch after the buzz is gone.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Addictions, the podcast about addictions. I'm your host, David Wagner. On this episode, our main story is a listener story sent in via email. This listener preferred to stay anonymous, so I'm not going to say their name. And remember, if you want to share your story with the Addictions Podcast, you can email me at theaddictionspodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, we have a new email address. It's easy to remember. It's just theaddictionspodcast@gmail.com. You can also contact us on Facebook by visiting the Addictions Podcast at facebook.com/addictionspodcast. You can send us a message there too. I want to give you guys a real quick update. As many of you know, my day job at the farm has really picked up due to it being time to harvest potatoes. And I'm currently working 7 days a week and up to 16 hours a day. Things are going pretty smooth at work, and with any luck, I'll be done with that by early October, and I'll really be able to start cranking out the content for you guys. One other thing I want to give you guys an update on. On a previous episode, I spoke with Joseph DeLucci from an organization called Active Addict, which provides free access to gyms and physical fitness training for anyone currently in addiction recovery. That's only in the Massachusetts area. In my situation, I'm actually trying to gain weight. You see, after I broke my femur in the car accident back in 2006, I actually lost a bunch of weight and I was never able to regain it. And I'm actually dangerously underweight at about 105 pounds. Joe is helping guide me on a nutritional and fitness path that will help me gain healthy weight and keep it on. And I know what many of you are thinking, how can you not gain weight? I have an incredibly fast metabolism, and I'm a small-framed guy to begin with. My ideal weight is only around 125 pounds, so I'm by no means a big guy. And with such a fast metabolism, it's like I burn calories faster than I can consume them. But anyways, I started working with Joe a couple weeks ago, and I'm already seeing results. In the past 2 weeks, I've gained almost 7 pounds, and that weight actually seems to be staying on, which is a big deal for me. Usually I'll gain like 10 pounds, and then 2 days later it'll be gone, and it's back to square one. But yeah, I'll continue to give you guys updates and stuff on my progress with that. On to our main story for this episode. We have another installment of Confessions of a Drug User. And as I said earlier, this person wanted to remain anonymous. So I will basically just be reading the email that was sent to me. And here we go. I sometimes get it in my head that I was never a good big brother. Earlier on in my years, I was a bit of a shit, especially in high school. I also became very defiant after my parents' divorce. If I remember correctly, I started using hard drugs at around 20 years old. I wanted to be a beat writer, and I always had an interest in that in journalism, and honestly, that was why I tried heroin. And yeah, even after teenage years, people still do stupid shit. It was also right around this time that my sister ran away to go live with my dad, and my mom lost her mind. And I was getting kicked out, taken back in every other month, it seemed like. Eventually, I dropped out of college. I had several jobs. I quit several jobs. My sister did come back. My mom actually went and took her back when she was around 16 years old. And when my sister came back, she had brought back some other habits she learned about in San Diego. like cocaine and booze. Yeah, at 16, 17 years old, she was into these things. After about 2 years, I somewhat quit using H. But there were times that my sister and I, when she was 18, went to the city to score dope. Her cocaine, me heroin. Finally, after a genuine suicide attempt, I quit dope altogether. My sister was living with our paternal grandfather, and I moved out. She was still a senior in high school because she missed a year when she ran away. Anyways, I moved out on my own. My mother moved down to Florida, and my sister also eventually wound up in Florida with my mom and developed a nasty Percocet habit. My sister was in and out of my mom's house and in and out of rehab for what seemed like years. Years later, I was married and starting a family, and I gave my sister $1,000 and then simply had to cut her out of my life emotionally. It was during this time that I treated my sister as persona non grata. That means basically like unwanted. Okay, back to the email. I was always listening to my mom crying about how fucked up my sister was every time my mom called me. My sister held up a pizza guy with some friends and ended up in jail, and then sentenced to a rehab/release type of program. The first year before my sister died, she was hospitalized for about 7 or 8 months with her first bout of MRSA. I did finally talk to my sister and told her that she will soon be an aunt and that she should get her life cleaned up. She recovered from that infection and swore off drugs and her scumbag, probably pimp, of a boyfriend, but that lasted like a day. Then a year later, her infection came back, and on December 17th, after hosting a solstice party and still in the Santa Claus outfit, I got the call from my mother. My sister was dead. I was angry with my sister. I really hated her in many ways. My wife was there for me and still is. I actually might be going back to therapy, but I don't feel destructive or depressed, so I don't know. But maybe I should see a professional. Anyways, that is it. Thank you for listening. Wow, that is quite the story. I can't thank this person enough for sharing. It takes a lot of courage to share. It's not easy. But in sharing, most people find relief, or at least a therapeutic type of feeling. I know for me, sharing my story is 100% therapeutic. It is just a constant reminder of exactly what I do not want to fall back into. But anyways, again, I want to thank this listener so much for sending us that story. And again, if anyone else wants to share their stories of addiction on the show, you can email us at theaddictionspodcast@gmail.com. And if anyone out there is listening on iTunes, shoot us a review. That would just be super cool. Be sure to follow the Addictions Podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/addictionspodcast. And on Twitter, we are at AddictionsCast. One real quick thing before we go, I just wanted to let you guys know this coming week I will be ordering a bunch of stickers for the Addictions Podcast, and they're going to be free for anyone who shares any of the links to our episodes on Facebook. And I will post a little link on Facebook about how to go about doing that. I will be sure and let you guys know when the stickers are ready, and yeah, I will definitely put up some photos of them so you can check them out beforehand. Also wanted to say you can listen to all of the previous episodes of the Addictions Podcast on our website at www.addictionspodcast.wordpress.com and click on the episodes link at the top of the page. And if you really love the Addictions Podcast and want to help support what we do, visit www.patreon.com/addictions to learn more. Again, that's patreon.com/addictions. As always, I thank you all for listening, and remember, never quit quitting.
Sundays you prayed Uncle John, you poisoned yourself last night. Mary slapped your friend Tom, you got in a hell of a fight. Monday comes and it's back to work, the week seems so damn long. The weekend's past, you're still a jerk. After after the buzz is gone.